100 kilograms of pure gold, stacked on a table, glowing under palace lights, worth $8 million. In 1972, enough money to buy 20 mansions, enough wealth to never work again, enough fortune to set up 10 generations, 100 kilograms of pure 24-karat gold. And Bruce Lee looked at it, looked at the prince offering it, and said, "No, this is not a story about money. This is a story about what money cannot buy, about what gold cannot purchase, about what wealth cannot command. This is the story of the most expensive offer Bruce Lee ever received, and why. He walked away from enough gold to change his life forever. Bruce Lee is at the peak of his powers, 31 years old. The big boss has just made him the biggest star in Asia. Fist of Fury is breaking every box office record. Hollywood is finally starting to pay attention after years of struggle, years of rejection, years of being told, Asian men cannot be leading men. Bruce is proving everyone wrong. But he is not rich. Not yet. The big boss paid him $15,000. Fist of Fury. Slightly more. But by Hollywood standards, by star standards, Bruce is not wealthy. He lives comfortably, but not lavishly. He supports his family, his mother, his school, his students. Money is always a concern. Into this moment arrives an invitation from Saudi Arabia, from a prince, one of the many princes of the Saudi royal family, immensely wealthy, oil wealth, generational wealth, the kind of wealth that most people cannot even imagine. This prince has seen the big boss, has become obsessed with Bruce Lee, with Kung Fu, with martial arts. And he wants what wealthy men always want: exclusive access, private lessons, personal training for himself, and more importantly, for his son. The invitation arrives by diplomatic courier, on official royal stationery, inviting Bruce Lee to Saudi Arabia for a private meeting, all expenses paid, first-class travel, 5-star accommodation, just a conversation, no commitment, just talk. Bruce is curious. He has never been to Saudi Arabia, has never met royalty, decides, why not? It is just a conversation. Linda, his wife, warns him, be careful. These people are used to getting what they want. Bruce, confident, says, I am not for sale. I just want to see what they offer. He flies to Riyadh, 1972, Saudi Arabia. Oil boom years. Wealth beyond imagination. Palaces, gold, luxury, everywhere. Bruce, coming from modest Hong Kong, from working-class America, has never seen wealth like this. It is overwhelming. He is brought to a palace, not the main royal palace, but a prince's private residence. Even this is larger than any building Bruce has ever entered. Marble, gold fixtures, servants everywhere, art worth millions, casual, on the walls. This is not wealth. This is beyond wealth. This is power made visible. The prince greets him warmly, respectfully. The prince is 40 years old, educated in England, speaks perfect English, sophisticated, intelligent, but also, clearly, A man who has never been told no in his entire life. That is what immense wealth does to people. Removes the word no from their vocabulary. They talk about martial arts, about philosophy, about the big boss. The prince is genuinely enthusiastic, genuinely knowledgeable. This is not a casual fan. This is someone who has studied, who understands, who respects the art. Bruce is impressed. This is not what he expected. Then the prince makes his offer. I want you to train my son exclusively, privately, for 5 years. Live here in Saudi Arabia, in a palace. We will provide everything you need. Your family will want for nothing. You will have complete freedom, except you teach only my son, no one else. Private lessons, every day, 5 years. Make my son a master. Bruce asks, what is the payment? The prince smiles and gestures to his assistant, who brings a small table on wheels, and on this table, stacked carefully, in neat bars, 100 kilograms of pure gold, 24 carat, certified, government-stamped, 100 kilograms, gleaming under palace lights, $8 million. In 1972, money. Today, that would be $60 million. $60 million for 5 years' work. $12 million per year. Teaching. One student. One privileged, protected, royal student. Bruce stares at the gold. He has never seen this much wealth in physical form. His entire life earnings. Everything he has made, from every film, every lesson, every job, would not equal 1/10 of this gold. This is generational wealth. This is never worry again wealth. This is his children's children taken care of. Wealth. The prince sees Bruce staring, misinterprets the silence, says, if gold is not convenient, we can transfer to any bank, any country, any currency, or keep the gold however you prefer. The payment is flexible. The offer is real. Bruce looks up from the gold, looks at the prince, and asks one question. If I accept, I teach only your son? Yes, the prince confirms, exclusively, for 5 years. No other students? Correct. The prince nods. 5 years, private, exclusive, no one else. Bruce sits back and says, no, I cannot accept. The prince, shocked, genuinely shocked, perhaps for the first time in his adult life. Someone said no. He asks, is the payment insufficient? We can negotiate. More gold, more money, whatever you need. Bruce shakes his head. The payment is incredibly generous, more than generous. But I cannot accept. Why not? The prince, genuinely confused, cannot understand. $8 million for 5 years, teaching his passion, in luxury. Why would anyone refuse this? Bruce explains, and this explanation, this is why, this moment is legendary. This is why, this story matters. He says, Your Highness, martial arts is not a luxury good. It is not a rare wine that only the wealthy can taste. It is not an exclusive club that only the privileged can join. Martial arts is knowledge. Knowledge belongs to everyone, not just to those who can afford 100 kilograms of gold. Right now, in Hong Kong, I have students, poor students, who pay me $5 a month. Some pay me nothing. They clean my school. They help teach beginners. They cannot afford real tuition, but they want to learn. They need to learn. Some of them come from broken homes, abusive families, dangerous neighborhoods. Martial arts gives them discipline, confidence, purpose, a way out of their circumstances. If I come here for 5 years and teach only your son, I abandon those students, those poor students who need me more than your son needs me. Your son will have every advantage in life: money, education, opportunity, protection. He does not need martial arts to survive. My students in Hong Kong, some of them, martial arts is the only thing standing between them and destruction. The prince interrupts, but you could use this gold to help them build a bigger school, hire other teachers, use the wealth for good. Bruce shakes his head. No, because if I accept this, if I take 100 kilograms of gold to teach only one student for 5 years, I send a message to every poor student in the world. I tell them, martial arts is for the rich. Knowledge is for sale to the highest bidder. If you have gold, you get the master. If you are poor, you get second best or nothing. And that is not what I believe. That is not what I teach. I teach that martial arts sees no wealth, no poverty, no class, no privilege. On the training floor, the billionaire's son and the janitor's son are equal. Both start as white belts. Both earn every rank. Both struggle. Both grow. Both are students, equal under the art. If I accept your gold, I destroy that equality. I become what I hate, a master who serves only the wealthy, a teacher who prices out the poor, a symbol that knowledge belongs to those who can pay, and that is not who I am. That is not who I want to be. The room is silent. The prince does not know what to say. No one has ever spoken to him like this. No one has ever refused him like this, with reasons he cannot argue against, with principles he cannot purchase. Bruce continues, Your Highness, your son can learn martial arts. There are many teachers, good teachers, in Saudi Arabia, in Asia, in America. He does not need me specifically. Any good teacher can train him. But my students in Hong Kong, the poor ones, the struggling ones, they chose me, they trust me. I made them a promise. When they walked into my school, I promised them that I would be there, that I would teach them, that wealth would not matter, that everyone who wants to learn can learn. If I leave them for 5 years for gold, I break. That promise I betray. Their trust. And what am I then? I am a man who sold his principles for 100 kilograms of gold. I am a teacher who abandoned his students for money. I am everything I teach against. Greed over discipline, wealth over loyalty, gold over honor. I cannot accept your offer, not because it is not generous. It is incredibly generous, but because some things cannot be bought, some promises cannot be broken, some principles cannot be sold, not for 100 kilograms of gold, not for 1,000 kilograms, not for any amount of wealth. The prince stares at Bruce for a long moment. Then, slowly, he smiles. Not an angry smile, not a dismissive smile, but a smile of respect. He says, I understand. I do not agree, but I understand. You are a rare man. Most men I have met have a price. You, apparently, do not. That is admirable, even if it is also insane. Bruce smiles back. Perhaps it is both admirable and insane, but it is who I am. The prince nods. Then I will not insult you further by increasing the offer. You have made your position clear. I respect your decision, even though I think you are making a mistake. They part respectfully. Bruce returns to Hong Kong, to his modest school, to his poor students, to his $5 monthly fees, to his life, without gold, without palaces, without $8 million, without generational wealth. Less than 1 year later, Bruce Lee dies July 20th, 1973, 32 years old, too young, too soon. He never became massively wealthy, never had financial security, never had the fortune that 100 kilograms of gold would have provided. His family, after his death, struggled financially. For years, that gold would have changed everything. For them, people ask, did Bruce make the right choice? Should he have taken the gold? Should he have secured his family's future? Should he have accepted just 5 years for a lifetime of security? But that is the wrong question. The question is not, did he make the right choice? The question is, who do you want to be? A person who has principles until they become expensive? A teacher who serves all until the rich offer more? A master who preaches equality until gold changes the message? Bruce Lee chose to be exactly who he said he was, a teacher for everyone, a master who could not be bought, a man whose principles were not for sale. Even for 100 kilograms of gold, even for $8 million, even for his family's security, he chose his promise over his comfort, his students over his wealth, his principles over his profit. That choice that impossible choice. That is why this story is legendary, not because he refused money, but because he knew the cost of that refusal and paid it anyway. That is integrity. That is character. That is Bruce Lee.